What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Fade with Golden Tate. And what a weird week 5 in the NFL it was. We had two teams going into the weekend that was undefeated, and we came out with 0 teams undefeated, and they both lost at home. The Titans snap a 10-game losing streak. Cam Ward gets his first ever win as an NFL quarterback in one of the most wackiest games I've ever seen. Dillon Gabriel, Jaxon Dart, who had a better day? Who do you trust more? We got to get into all that. Let's get it. Going into Sunday, we had 2 undefeated teams left, and after Sunday, we have 0 undefeated teams left because both teams managed to lose at home, and one had no business losing the game. But first, we're going to talk about Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles have the Denver Broncos come visit them. Lincoln Financial Field, one of the toughest environments to play the game of football in. And Bo Nix, Sean Payton come in there and handle business. Business. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I took a live bet in the first half that Eagles are going to blow these boys out, and I took a little baby money, minus 13.5 first half, because the way that first half went, I was like, okay, this is going to get out of hand. They're at home. This is your young quarterback. Philly is Philly. They can beat you all types of ways. Okay, last week they started off slow and then picked it up in the second half. This week they're starting off fast and going to maintain. Nope. Nope. In fact, this game left me with so many questions that I need some answers from someone somehow. We're going to talk about, first and foremost, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, the healthy Saquon Barkley, by the way, 2024 Offensive Player of the Year. Again, 2024 Offensive Player of the Year. Considered to be the best player on offense last year. Got 6 carries yesterday for 30 yards. He got 6 carries. I keep repeating myself because I want you to really understand. I'm emphasizing that this is a problem. Now he also got 3 catches. That one was a 47-yard touchdown down the sideline, which was a great play by him. But without that one play, it would have been a very underwhelming statistical day. Now, focusing back on the Offensive Player of the Year last year, he should be getting 20 touches non-negotiable. He is the running back where the running back should be touching the ball the most. He is electric, explosive, fast. He jumps over people backwards and stuff. There's no excuses for him not to get his touches. Period. If you want to have a good team, it starts with the running game. Now, I know the Eagles are dealing with some injuries, especially at the offensive line, which I will have some grace, if you will, but you gotta feed Saquon Barkley. And so I don't know if that means, look, have a motion from the backfield to the slot, or from the slot to the backfield, or as a receiver, or start giving the guy reverses, but you got to give him his touches, period. And you can't even mess around with that. Now, going back to the first half, like when I said I thought they're going to walk away with this one, I mean, they were dominant. They controlled the clock. They even had a 90-yard drive that ended with the Dallas Goedert touchdown. Devontae had a nice little day. I think he had 114 yards on 8 catches. He was definitely the featured player of the week, and this is a luxury that the Philadelphia Eagles have. They have so many players, good electric players, that they can just choose, all right, well, you're going to be the guy this week. Now, it's all fine and dandy if you win the game. But when you don't win the game, we got some issues. We got to talk about it. Now, A.J. Brown didn't do much, didn't have too many opportunities to do much. I mean, they threw the ball his way, but it was kind of, the pass were kind of like whatever. Kind of wondering what book he's reading right now, what quotes he's going to drop to the media that's going to be, subtle, but give us some information. So stay tuned for that. And then The Broncos. Hey, if you're on the fence about the Broncos, them boys are the real deal. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, they got something real good over there to go into one of the toughest stadiums in the league and to handle business and the way they did it. The fourth quarter, go on a stupid run. 18-0 run in the fourth quarter in Lincoln Financial Field is special. The confidence that you got to have in your quarterback and the confidence you got to have as a head coach to make some of those calls, and the game-changing moment came. The Broncos could have tied the game up. They scored touchdowns, so they're down by one. They could have tied the game up with an easy field goal, but no. Sean Payton didn't even think twice. He says, we're going for two off the bat. They go out there, and it executed perfectly, hit Troy Franklin in the back of the end zone, and boom, 18-17, Denver Broncos on the road. And I love this call because Sean Payton's coached a long time in this league, and he knows momentum. And when you're riding high, keep it some way because momentum can change very quickly. It could, in fact, change if they don't get it in that aspect, but they did get it. So Lincoln Financial Field, on the road, young quarterback, make that call where you got all the momentum in the world. After you just scored, that's belittling to go for two and then go get it for the home team. And that is what the defining moment of the game was. And it was a gutsy call that I love. And that's where that's a veteran head coach, has just seen a lot, felt a lot, been in a lot of different points of the game throughout his career, and makes a wonderful call. And I mean, Troy Franklin was wide open in the back of the end zone, by the way. And so I really love seeing that play. Cortland Sutton, excuse me, workhorse of the day for the Broncos, had 8 catches, 99 catches. But here's another stat that sticks out. The Denver Broncos, 9 different Broncos caught a pass from Joe Nix yesterday. 9. Do you know how impossible it is to freaking game plan when you don't know where the ball is going? I mean, we know Cortland's going to get his touches for sure, but and you know what, Evan Ingram, but we don't know where the ball is going, and that is something that's so hard to game plan as a defensive coordinator. And that also tells me that Bo Nix knows his stuff. Okay, Cortland's probably the number one read on a lot of these. Cortland's not open, and he's getting back to Evan, and then he's getting back to his backside, and sometimes hitting the fourth receiver on the backside. That's special. That's belief in my offensive line. That's belief in me understanding and knowing what I'm doing. That's me understanding coverages. And so hats off to Bo Nix. You are the real deal. And if, like I said earlier, if anyone was on the fence about the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix, well, I'm completely off the fence. The dudes you did in Philadelphia, one of the most hostile environments, is incredible. Now, another thing I want to point out about Bo Nix is that what they're doing very well is he's getting the ball out quick. And when you're getting the ball out quick and you're letting your guys get the ball and make plays, you let your athletes break tackles, that's telling me you know what you're doing. You're getting the ball out very quickly because you know where you're going. And so you're hitting guys out of your breaks. And that reminds me of like Stafford. Matthew Stafford helped me become the Yak King because he understood the coverage. He knew exactly where he was going, and so he was able to place the ball where they couldn't do anything with it, or right out of my break. I'm talking about boom, boom, out my break, ball is there. And so I was able to take a screenshot with my mind. Gosh, like my brain's an iPhone or something. But I was able to take a picture in my mind where the DB was before I went into my break and came out my break, and the ball was there so quickly that the DB could have only taken 1 or 2 steps. So I was able to make a boom, boom, and get past him and get yards after the catch. And that's exactly what you're seeing out of Bo Nix and his team. I think these guys they rank 4th in the league in yards after catch, getting over 560 yards more, which is impressive. And so, look, this Denver Bronco team is they're playing elite football. And the best thing of it all is 0 turnovers yesterday. 0. Quick hitters, hitting everybody on the field, controlling the game, and 0 turnovers. That's winning football. And so, look, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of these Denver Broncos, and I think we might be on to something. We might be on to something. I'm looking forward to following this team for the rest of the season. And like I said, if you're on the fence about the Denver Broncos, you're definitely off of it now. Our other undefeated team that got smacked at home is the Buffalo Bills. Now, let me tell you about the Buffalo Bills, y'all. Okay, so I had this finale on a few teasers, a few parlays, all types of stuff. And I bought it down to, 1.5. So all they had to do was win the game. And I didn't hedge any of them. And I should have. And I'm mad that I didn't because I got smacked because I didn't do that. But anyway, that's my own issue. And we're going to move forward with the recap of the game. Woosah. But anyway, so we got the Buffalo Bills at home, Highmark Stadium against the New England Patriots that, they're okay. Now, they do have Mike Vrabel, and I just don't trust him when it comes to betting against him for obvious reasons in the past. But anyway, so Highmark Stadium, we're thinking this is a special year for the Bills. No way they're going to lose at home in the divisional game against these guys. No way, right? Well, this game just felt weird from the very moment it started. I'm talking about Buffalo goes down, drives the ball with ease, and boom, turnover. Next, a few plays later, New England, turnover. So it offsets that. And then after that, I felt like Buffalo never got synced into the game. Now, playing football for 12 years, the quickest way to lose a game is going to be turnovers and penalties. And I remember all the New England descendants that came and coached and wanted to make us the New England Patriots idiots. They always said, "You know how you win? You keep from losing." And that's exactly what happened here with the New England Patriots. They just played a clean game. After that one turnover, they dominated the turnover battle, getting 3 turnovers and only turning it over once early on. And then the Bills, man, they freaking turned the 11 penalties? 11 penalties. Season high, 11 penalties. That's not winning football. I don't care who you're playing. You could be playing the Titans, who got their first win as well. You can play the Titans. You got 3 turnovers, 11 penalties. You're gonna make it mighty hard to win. And the New England Patriots, they took the opportunity that was given to them, and they ran with it. On one of the turnovers that the Bills committed, the Patriots come back with a 90-yard drive, ended in a touchdown. Now, that's pretty dang good. But look, Vrabel, I said it earlier, I just don't trust him in these big games because I've seen him with the Titans over and over go into a game where they are dogs on the road or at home and absolutely beat the snot out of somebody. And so I've seen this story and I knew it going into the night. I was like, man, it's Mike Vrabel. This team has no business beating the Bills, but weird things always happen. And of course, that's what it was. And it completely shot my teasers and parlays and all types of stuff. I mean, I had one that was going to hit for like $1,000 on like 150. Gosh, hate to see it. Now let's get over to Drake May. This was kind of the first time I really took a look at Drake May and really wanted to see what he was made of. And gosh, that boy is a player. Okay. Him and Stephon Diggs went nuclear yesterday. And there was times we could argue that Drake May looked like Josh Allen with some of the throws that he made, some of the plays he made with his legs, some of the stiff arms he made. I mean, that one stiff arm to hold that guy off while he's falling to hit Diggs and then let Diggs run and catch and run for it was sweet. It was sweet. Drake May had over 270 yards of passing. Diggs, big day, big day. 10 for 146. That connection was sweet. And I look, as a guy who's played past teams before, you always want to beat the team that one of your ex teams. You're friends with all those guys, but in your mind, you don't say it to the media, and you don't really say it to anyone besides your team, but you really want to kick their ass. You really do. Now, before the game, you're hee hee ha ha. Good to see you, brother. How's the family? But the moment that I would turn my back to like get ready to play, I told myself I hated these dudes. And I hate them because they let me go. I hate them because they just let me go. And so, but you have to tell yourself that. And look, Diggs, he played that way. He played incredible. I mean, he was there for it felt like every pass that was thrown. He was finding a way, good pass, bad pass. He found a way to make a play. Now, let's talk about the second half that Drake May had. 13 for 14 and 184 yards. That is pretty dang special. Now, look, Josh Allen statistically was fine. 253, 2 touchdowns, 53 rushing yards. But that interception in the third quarter turned out to be huge. It was huge. It was huge. It was huge because the Bills, a couple times, they drove the ball, got in territory, turned it over. Like that can't and shouldn't happen. Like I said earlier, when you can't hold on to the ball and you commit penalties, you are making it nearly impossible to win the game because NFL football is extremely hard as it is. And you bring in these extra things outside like that, it's very hard. But you know, that was kind of my take on it. Now, this next game is extremely wacky. I'm still in a little disbelief on what just happened, but let's go through it. Tennessee Titans were 0-4 going into this game. On the road, they they find the way to win the game. They break a 10-game losing streak. Cam Ward, the rookie quarterback out of Miami, gets his first win. Things are bad in Tennessee right now, and they're slightly better after the win. Arizona Cardinals absolutely dominated this game the first half. In fact, I took a live bet on Arizona that they're going to cover 13 and a half, and boy, was I wrong. And I'm okay with being wrong because the home team won. Everything's well in my state. Everyone's happy that Titans got their first win. But oh my goodness, the things that happened in this game were insane. Like I said, 21-6 first half, Arizona dominates. Second half comes, and it's like Arizona lost their superpowers in Space Jam. They just lost their powers and had no clue what the heck was going on. And starting off with Amari DiMercato has a glorious, nice 72-yard walk-in touchdown, and he lets the ball go before he crosses the goal line. And if he didn't let it go, it might have been knocked out by the defender that was walking him down. And you talking about one of the worst moments as a player to experience, that is it. As you just feel like absolute crap, and it should not happen. It should not happen. It never happened to me, thankfully, and I love to celebrate and be a little extra out there when I score touchdowns. But I tell you one thing, I always had in my mind, I'm going to make sure I'm going to cross this goal line before I do anything silly with it, and Amari did not do that. And we've already seen it happen a couple times this year. And so I know it was on the teach tape on Thursday or Friday. On every team I've been on, coaches would take time to show us like situational football, the do's and the don'ts, and quiz you on like what did he do poorly. So I know this guy had to see it. I mean, he had to see it. It had to be fresh in his mind, and he still made the mistake that was a costly one because all hell breaks loose after that. Now, another play that happened. Actually, let's go back on the celebrating thing. The celebrations. I can't tell you how many times I dove into the end zone, did flips into the end zone, kicked people going to the end zone. And as soon as I got to the sideline, I'm hearing, hey, don't do that again. Be careful. Don't dive and touch the pylon because things can go wrong. You fumble, touchback, or all types of stuff. Like just don't do it, especially on once we got to Monday in the film. I've heard it endless amounts, but I always made the play, and I always had confidence that I was going to make the play and not do anything like fumble it or release the ball. And thankful that didn't happen. Moving on. Next, late in the game, fourth quarter. Cam Ward is driving with the Titans. He throws a pass that gets deflected by a defensive lineman and then picked off by Demerson. They call him Rabbit. Rabbit with the ball, Arizona Cardinals starts running, and he fumbles the ball. So now it was Titans possession, then it was Arizona's possession, and now it's fair game. Okay, so you can't make this up, y'all. Guys are diving all over the place, scratching, clawing, trying to get the ball. It's almost like there's butter or oil on the ball. It's slipping and sliding everywhere. It makes its way to the end zone, and the one and only Tyler Lockett lands on the ball, and that's a touchdown, which takes the lead down to 21-19 in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left or something like that. Long story short, Titans kicker comes in there, rookie, nails it, center of the field goal, game, blouses. Titans get their first win. Arizona doesn't score a single point in the second half when they had a walk-in 72-yard touchdown that was a mental lapse. And then they have a pick that they fumble without being touched. I can't even believe what I had a chance to see in the National Football League. You would think that if you don't know football, you would think these are professionals. Surely they don't do knucklehead stuff like this. Nope, it happened. So, hey, a win is a win. And this is great for the Titans' confidence because they come in all shapes and forms. And again, like I said earlier, you know how you win, you keep from losing. And so Jonathan Gannon is definitely on the hot seat. He's been on the hot seat, and this does not look good for him and the squad. So he might not make it through the year, from my understanding and what I'm reading. So he's definitely on the hot seat. Oh, by the way, there's a situation that's been all around the internet. Jonathan Gannon, DeMarcado, he ends up boom into his chest. Now, we do not know the context, so let's not jump to any conclusions. Let's not think the worst. Let's have some grace. We don't know what was said. Maybe it was a lot of passion and anger and motivation. Hey, we need you. Come on, make a play. Boom. I know it didn't look that way. I do have some clarifying questions. And so I'm not going to jump to conclusion, but it is going around the internet. Go check it out if you can find it and give me your thoughts, comment on what you think happened, what was said. I'm sure you're going to have some very creative, funny ones. But there's players that you can do that with, and there's players you can't do that with. I can name probably 20 to 25 players that if you did that in a game or a practice or at any point, that they would go absolutely berserk and snap on the coach on the sideline, no matter who the coach is. And there's also some players who can take that, who expect better out of themselves and who just are disappointed at themselves and are able to just take that very harsh discipline, if you will. And I was one of those players, but man, I tell you what, that looked like that was like a chest breaker. So be on the lookout for that. Jaxon Dart gets his second start. Dillon Gabriel gets his first start overseas. And as a veteran type of guy, when I'm looking at rookies, I'm not checking the box score. I'm asking myself and our guys around me, did this guy give us a chance to win the game? Did he protect the ball? Did he keep the huddle calm? Did he control the game? And that was the difference between Dillon Gabriel and Jaxon Dart this week. Dillon Gabriel, ball security, It's job security. I've said, you'll hear me say that a million times. He did a really good job at hanging on to the ball. No fumbles, no picks, making safe throws, not forcing balls that aren't there. Situational awareness was good. He gave his squad a lead in the second half overseas, which is tough as a rookie. Long trip, neutral site, all eyes on you. He kept his composure. Leadership traits, guys in the locker room. We're going to rally around him because he played a clean game. We coaches don't care about if you throw for 190 or 390. Zero turnovers is how you get credibility. If you go out there and throw for 190, zero touchdown or zero picks, but then you go out there and throw for 390 and have 3 or 4 picks, we rather have you throw for 190, buddy. And so that's what we want to see, maturity there with Jaxon Dart. Now, Jaxon Dart started the game off hot. 2 touchdowns in the first half, get the squad up 14-3. But in this league, it ain't about how you start, bub. It's about how you finish. And it's how you protect that lead by protecting the ball. Turnovers are flat out killers. They will kill you every single time. And those were daggers because those turnovers, 2 picks by Jaxon Dart and a lost fumble. And then on top of that, Scatterbo fumbles in the red zone. It gets picked up and returned the opposite direction for a touchdown. That's a 14-point swing right there. Should have been your points, and instead it was their points. 14-point swing. And that is a sin in the red zone. And the lack of adjustments. Look, after turnovers are going to happen for young guys. It's just a part of it. They're going to happen. Young guys are going to make mistakes. But it's not about the mistakes. It's how you respond to the mistakes. You know what's worse than one pick? 2 picks. You know what's worse than 2 picks? A fumble. And it was a snowball effect. You got to be able to shake it off, get back in there, and the coaches have to help Dart settle back into the game. This is NFL football, guy. You throw 1 pick, guys licking their chops, thinking they're coming in bunches. And so in this point of the game, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to set Jaxon Dart up for success. I'm going to start this drive off with a run, or I'm going to hit him on a screen pass to one of the backs, or I'm going to have him throw a slant, a high percentage throw, just let him get synced back into the game. But he never did reset. And the body language showed. As a teammate, you can feel when a quarterback is rattled, a young quarterback. He just got that look like a deer in the headlights, like I don't know what's going on, and we need it, and it trickles down the sideline. Guys can feel and see that. So from a vet standpoint, if I'm in these locker rooms with Gabriel, I'm saying, dude, you gave us a chance to win. You handle business. We got to make a stop on defense, and we can win that game. And with Dart, I'm saying we can't win games turning the ball over like this. Protect the rock, and we're right there in it. The Saints, that game was a Giants Saints. That was a game that the Giants really needed to win because their next 3 are going to be brutal. They got Philly, Denver, and Philly again. And I can bet you that Philly's going to be real pissed off after losing this week to Denver. And so, look, I'm expecting growth from Jaxon Dart. We all are. He's got talent. He can spin it, and he can make a lot of throws. But you have to learn which throws should I make and which throws should I not make. But look, Jaxon Dart, New York, New Jersey, they are ready to love you. You bring a different type of excitement that they haven't had in a long time. You bring a different type of drip and swag to the city, like how you show up to the games, dripped out with the tennis neck, with the neck diamond out necklace. It's all good, but you got to support it with the way you play. Hey, you do this the right way, man. They'll be in the middle of New York City looking at you in a big billboard, a Hanes underwear model or something with that nice flowy hair, but you got to handle your business on the field, and turnovers is where you got to start. And that's something that you can control. And we're expecting you to learn and make better decisions moving forward. But hey, look, we are still excited about you. You have a bright future in this league because you just have this aura about you, man, that we all love. So keep grinding.